This morning, two sisters are about to be released from a Mississippi prison after spending 16 years behind bars. But their freedom comes with a price. One sister must donate a kidney to the other, who would die without a transplant. That condition for their release is drawing national attention. CNN's Martin Savage is live outside of the prison.
Children, they have 23 grandchildren. Now they have $190 million.
So just maybe they can pay for all of those grandchildren to go to college. Just maybe.
My grandchildren as well. We're talking about Jim and Carolyn McCullough here. This is up on Capitol Hill and around the country is about illegal immigration. But the fight is not going to be over securing the border, over building a wall. It's going to be over birthright citizenship. That's shaping up. We're going to have a conversation about that this morning.
It's interesting, the reading of the Constitution and then perhaps challenging portions of it, like the 14th Amendment. The world's fastest golfer, we're not saying he's great. In a story out of London this morning, police are stepping up security at the city's transportation hubs after reports of a possible attack being planned. Much like the coordinated attacks in Mumbai, India back in 2008, terrorists rocked the Indian capital, killing 175 people and injuring dozens more. CNN's Matthew Chance is in London with the latest on this new potential threat. Paper and all of that stuff. I mean, it does add up, but still, you're right. There are ways that you can.
Sure.
Coming up, birthright citizenship. It is the next big immigration battle. Several state lawmakers are challenging the idea that babies born in the U.S. are automatically U.S. citizens.
Also, if you got a luxury yacht,
Well, still to come on the Most News in the Morning, we're checking in with Rob Marciano. He's keeping
$50,000 to spend 1 week on that yacht.
Wow, I guess it comes with a cruise, so you know it's worth it. I know, you could buy several homes.
You could do a lot with $850,000. If you got it, do your thing, but still, that's a lot of money for 1 week.
You could even do more with $190 million. We're going to hear from the lotto winners, at least half of the lotto winners who split that huge jackpot coming up. We'll be right back. The hour right now, House Republicans kick off their new reign with a symbolic first ever reading of the Constitution. Took place yesterday on the House floor.
Symbolic? A first ever? Should have been kind of a nice moment. We can all agree. Just read the Constitution. Should have been that simple. Jim Acosta is in Washington, and he knows. Got a $50 million guaranteed. That's not your daily salary, your average yearly salary.
Right.
You're going to get that money
no matter what happens.
Right.
And so this is a gamble. I mean, some people would say this is a noble. He wants to complete his degree first, and others say, oh, man, should have gone for that money. You can always go back.
Man, he did not call me before he made that decision. Let's take a look at this guy. This
has to do it in hibiscus pants.
Why are you on the guys? Get up. He spends all this time golfing. That's not shopping. All right?
No, he had to spend a lot of time finding those pants. I'm sorry, okay? You could go get your run-of-the-mill jeans anywhere.
All right, it's 25 minutes past the hour. We'll see how he does in that record. But coming up as well, I need to let you know what's happening in London this morning.
37 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to the Most News in the Morning. Trying to unlock the mystery of autism, despite yesterday's bombshell report finally discrediting the link between the disorder and the MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. Well, today, we're still no closer to understanding what causes this disorder, and we do know that the number of cases continues to rise, growing almost 60% between 2002 and 2006 alone. Joining me this morning, Allison. Morning. One of the things, I mean, and this was, really the bombshell out yesterday, which once and for all disproved Dr. Wakefield's research, even though he continues to defend it. What do you think the net effect of all of that news out yesterday is today?
I hope that the result of the news is that we can finally put the...
Not going away because we've seen the cases continue to rise. I mean, as we just said, this 57% increase in the latest 4 years that they've got out there. Dr. Peterson, do we have any... and of course, you have a daughter with autism. Did you ever wonder whether or not vaccines contributed to the diagnosis?
I think when this paper was published in The Lancet, all parents took it very seriously.
An impact has the fear of autism and the desire, of course, that every parent has to do all that they can think of to prevent their child from getting it. How much has that impacted public health?
Well, I think as Allison was referring to, I think...
It doesn't necessarily, though, address the rise that we've seen. A lot of people are wondering, are there environmental factors that we're looking at that may in some way contribute? How far has the research taken us? Spotting signs and symptoms more, meaning that we understand it better, or is it truly a rise in actual cases?
Well, we don't know that. We need to do more research.
Component. What is going to be the next, I guess, big thing in terms of treatment and potentially moving toward news, and the funding continues. And we wish you both the best of luck as well, Dr. Bradley Peterson and Allison Singer. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
TJ?
All right.
If you booze, you lose, and that has new meaning in Maryland. They're adding
Okay.
a 10-cent drink tax in the state, my home state. So dime on a bottle of wine.
No matter what.
I know.
I think
That's
you know
why
that.
that's why the sin tax is an easy way to go, because people are going to do what
Might
they
as
do.
well. People are also going to smoke, no matter what. How much is a pack of cigarettes here in New York now?
I think it's $46 or something.
Somebody knows?
Interesting. Guys hate to see women cry, just in general, right? You hate that.
Yes.
And actually, they say there's scientific backing behind it, that you just actually can't help it. Researchers, Israeli researchers, found that a woman's tears...
Study to tell people that men don't like to see a woman cry,
But
and
now
that
there's
turns
a
us off.
scientific reason behind it.
Oh, you
We
didn't need it.
Wow. Well, researchers don't know if the same is true with a man's tears, but they admit that it's harder to find men who will volunteer to cry in a lab. Don't even say it. I know what you're thinking.
Do you really?
There's some men who are not afraid to cry in public all the time.
All the time? Were you about to go after Boehner?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were.
I was not.
I think there's nothing wrong with a man showing his emotion.
There's nothing at all. I cry all the time. Quick break. I'm going to shed a few tears and see if I can get ready for the next hour.
Minutes past the hour right now. Controversial budget cuts by Arizona Governor Jan Brewer and the state legislators there are saving the state about $1.5 million, but many are asking at what human price. 2 people have now died because those cuts denied them potentially life-saving organ transplants. Well, now some state politicians are talking about passing perhaps an emergency legislation to restore the funding before anyone else dies. Randy Shepard is one of the victims of those cuts. He's been waiting